An argument erupts between Nia and Kojo, shattering what is left of their love. Nia disappears in the dead of the night, leaving behind her 6-month-old daughter. Years later, fate brings them back together in a shocking revelation that will change their lives forever. In Amampo village, the Harmattan wind howled like a banshee outside their mud hut, whipping sand against the thin walls. Inside, Nia and Kojo's argument raged hotter than the midday sun. Years of unspoken resentment, fueled by his increasing dependence on alcohol, boiled over. Kojo's words, laced with cruelty that tore through Nia like a desert storm, shattered the remnants of their love. "I can't stay here another day," Nia declared, her voice trembling with the effort to control her tears. "I would rather be swallowed by the desert than endure another day under this roof." "Suit yourself. The village will celebrate your absence." Kojo responded with a cold shrug as he stormed out of the hut in anger. His indifference was the final blow for Nia. She sank into their wooden chair, tears streaming down her face. Memories of the days when she and Kojo were so in love with each other flickered through her mind. The stolen kisses under the baobab tree, the joy of their wedding day, and the arrival of their baby girl. How had the man who once looked at her with such adoration become a stranger consumed by bitterness? She can't understand how someone who was once very loving and kind could suddenly turn into a monster overnight. Nia resolved to leave the marriage because that was the only way she could save herself. However, it was a painful decision because she would have to leave her 6-month-old daughter behind with her aged mother-in-law. The thought tore at her heart. How could she bear to leave that tiny scrap of life behind? As painful as it was, Nia couldn't take the baby with her because she feared that the child might die on the way out of hunger. At night, Nia put the child to sleep and quietly laid her beside her mother-in-law who was fast asleep. She carried her little belongings and disappeared into the night. The next morning, Kojo didn't seem to care much that his wife had abandoned him and their 6-month-old child. He left the little girl with his mother and went drinking as usual. Kojo's mother, a kind old woman, decided to raise the child as hers. She showered her with so much love and care. Meanwhile, after a very long and arduous journey, Nia found herself in a village beneath the hills. In the village of Chola, Nia met a very kind woman, Abina, who welcomed her into her home. After listening to Nia's ordeal, Abina offered Nia a room in her home to start life afresh. A few years passed, Nia's skin began to glow again, and her bright and beautiful smile, which had been hidden in perpetual sadness all these years, began to resurface again. Nia now looks more beautiful than she was even before she married Kojo. It didn't take long before she found a kind gentleman who remarried her. Anala, now a young girl with her mother's fiery spirit and the same birthmark that adorned Nia's wrist, was a constant source of pride for her grandmother. Although she loves her grandmother, she can't stop asking questions about her mother and why she abandoned her. One day, while weeding their cassava patch, Anala asked her grandmother, "Oma, why did Mama leave me?" Her grandmother, her voice thick with emotion, explained to her that Nia had to make a difficult choice, a choice that would protect both of them. Anala listened, her heart heavy with a longing she couldn't quite understand. Her grandmother had earlier enrolled her in the village school and she helped her on her little farm every day after school. Anala grew up to become a young, brilliant, and beautiful girl. She had completed the village school, but her grandmother couldn't afford to send her to the city to further her education, and her drunkard father is not bothered about her future. Anala had to resort to farming and petty trading at the village market with her grandmother. Anala is very hard-working and she soon expanded her grandmother's small farm. She began to farm a variety of crops and even carried her goods to sell in the neighboring villages. It was on one of those market trips that Anola's path crossed with Dima. One day, Anala had gone to Cholo village market to trade some of her goods. After she had finished selling, she decided to go and buy some fabrics for herself and her grandmother for their village's forthcoming festival. It was at the fabric store that Anala met Dima, a young girl about the same age as her. Immediately their eyes met, an instant connection sparked between them. They began to gist and laugh loudly through the stores as they battled for colorful fabrics and beaded necklaces. Dima, with her infectious energy, became Anola's closest confidant. Their friendship grew stronger as the two girls began to meet every market day at the market and visited each other's villages. They gossiped about a lot of things and shared their dreams. But fate seemed to have a cruel twist in store for the two friends. As time passed, both Anala and Dima found themselves drawn to the same young man, Sonny. Sonny is a talented and artistic handsome weaver whom the girls had met at the market. They both vied for his attention, and what started as a playful rivalry soon became a very intense ugly competition and jealousy, which poisoned their beautiful friendship. Sonny, who is caught in the center of this affection, felt the weight of the tension between the two friends. He attempted several times to settle the fight but to no avail. Sonny finally decided to get the families of both girls involved because he feared they might hurt each other. He arranged a meeting with both families and invited the girls. It was very difficult to get the girls to agree to attend, but they finally agreed with the hope of finding a common ground to settle their differences and save their friendship. The meeting took place under the old baobab tree in Anola's village because her grandmother was too old to travel several miles to Cholo village. On the morning of the meeting, Dima arrived at Amampa village in the company of her mother, Nia, and her father, Kofi. Nia instantly recognized the village with painful memories that she had buried for years. Sonny also arrived shortly after. As the two families sat down under the baobab tree to begin the meeting, Nia immediately recognized Anola's grandmother, who is now very wrinkled and frail with old age. Immediately she turned to look at Anala more closely, and that was when she noticed the birthmark on her wrist. Nia suddenly realized that Anala was her little girl whom she had abandoned several years ago. She was afraid and not sure how to break the news to Anala and Dima that they were sisters. As Sonny explained the situation, Kojo, Anola's father, arrived already half drunk. Nia couldn't hold herself anymore. She interrupted Sonny as she tearfully confessed to Anala and Dima that they were sisters, born of the same mother but raised in different villages. The revelation shattered all expectations. The weight of years of longing for her mother's love crashed down on Anala. Tears streamed down her face, a mixture of grief and disbelief. Everyone was in total shock and disbelief. They all struggled to come to terms with the revelation. Dima, initially overwhelmed by the sudden truth, slowly reached out to Anala. In that moment, under the watchful gaze of everyone, they tearfully embraced each other. As the truth sank in, Anala and Dima realized the gravity of their actions. They had allowed their rivalry to overshadow the strong bond they shared, and they were filled with remorse. They knew they had to make amends and reconcile with each other. With the help of their mother and grandmother, Anala and Dima sat down to have a heart-to-heart conversation. They shared their pain, their regrets, and their hopes for the future. Slowly but surely, they began to rebuild their relationship and heal the wounds that had been inflicted upon them. While they embraced each other, Kojo walked in. He fell on his knees and began to apologize to his family for his behavior towards them over the years. Nia, he began, his voice thick with regret, there's no excuse for the way I treated you. I was a fool, blinded by my love for alcohol. His voice cracked, and he paused, wiping a stray tear from his eyes. Losing you, it broke something inside me. I drowned myself in drinking, shutting everyone out instead of facing the pain. He looked at Anala, his daughter. Anala, he said, his voice trembling, I never stopped thinking about you or loving you. I couldn't face you because I know I will never have the right answers for all the questions on your mind. Every sunrise, I regretted pushing your mother away, and drinking became my only escape. You deserved a better father, and I failed you. A tear escaped Anala's eye, glistening on her cheek. The years of longing for a father's love welled up inside her. Mother, Kojo continued, his voice low, I'm sorry for all the pain my behavior has caused you. I'm sorry for not being a better son, and I'm sorry for abandoning my responsibility as a father to my daughter to you. I can't change the past, but I hope you all can forgive me. I just want to be a part of your lives again, however you'll allow it. In tears, Anala and her grandmother both embraced Kojo as a sign of forgiveness. Nia also said that she had long forgiven him and she only hoped that he would become a better father for their daughter. Sonny realized that true love lay not in choosing one over the other, but in supporting both ladies on their journey of healing and sisterhood. He remained a loyal and devoted friend to both Anala and Dima, supporting them as they navigated the complexities of their newfound sisterhood. He weaved them a symbolic cloth to celebrate their newfound sisterhood and mark this unity. The three of them grew closer with each passing day, and they found solace in the knowledge that they were stronger together than they ever could have been apart. Moral lessons. Communication is important in every relationship. When we are faced with issues in life, talking to someone close to us may help us manage better. God put people in our lives for a reason. As we see in the story, Kojo's lack of communication led to the break of his marriage and destroyed what could have been a happy family. Communication can prevent a lot from going wrong. Forgiveness is a journey. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it allows us to heal and reconcile. The story shows how Kojo, Anala, Nia, and Grandma forgave each other, and it brings them peace and unity after so many years. Family bonds are not easily broken. Even after years of separation, fate finds a way to bring Nia and her daughter together again, and Anala and Dima's sisterhood brings them closer. We all deserve a second chance. Kojo's apology and desire to be a part of his family's lives shows that even those who have made mistakes can be given a second chance. What other lessons did you learn from the story? Kindly state it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and don't forget to share with your family and friends.